Three takes, not me. Two takes if you lucky. First take, stop me. Four takes, that's true. Three takes, not me. Two takes if you lucky. First take, you got me.
Man, welcome everybody to another episode of the Cobb and Dash Show. Last week we were off for Thanksgiving, but this week we're back and we're ready to rock. A lot of stuff is going on even in the last 24 hours. It's been a whirlwind for me. Yesterday, as some of you guys know, during pickup b-ball, I got my tooth knocked out. But today, been down with the dentist. They've been, chipping away and making me a new tooth. So we're back to normal here. I'll have to get a crown in a couple of weeks, but for right now, I'm looking back to normal. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. The NHL players, the guys in the box, and the boxers, and people who have got their teeth knocked out, man, they look ugly as fuck, dude. Because I looked atrocious last night, dude. I couldn't believe how ugly I looked just without one tooth.
It happens, man. You're a trooper for getting all that done today and still making the show. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I canceled my my 76ers podcast today because I was getting it done. But what, Cobb and Dash Show, that's one show that doesn't get put on hold. So lots to get into today. Lots of big playoff matchups this week. We were hoping we were going to get some guests on today, but I think everyone is just curious to see how we're going to talk about it. I think more so than getting themselves to talk about it. But before we get started, one thing I just want to let you guys know, it's a holiday season. I know a lot of you guys, none of you guys are Chiefs fans, but my podcast, some of you guys know, is it's got some merch out. We got some new merch. Everyone knows I'm a big headband guy. We got the Chief Concerns headbands. You can find them on chief-concerns.com. Nice little stocking stuffer. I know some of you guys wear headbands. We play b-ball. Some don't, but good exercise. Good thing to wear when you exercise. It's support your buddy's podcast. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Chief-concerns.com for that. We'll get to it in a second here. But our guy Marcus Berry Fitness has been put on hold for a little bit. He did say that we can still run his advertisements just in case you do want to get a little sweat on for the new year coming. So we'll see. TBD on that. But Cobb, anything new in your world?
No, nothing new. Had a good Thanksgiving. Had a good turkey bowl. Love this time of the year. It's a lot of activity going on. A lot of seeing family, friends. Can't complain.
Few things actually. You brought up some good points there. Turkey bowl. I mean, how can I forget? So much has been going on in the last 24 hours, and I totally forgot about turkey bowl. Alex was the first pick of the other team. He got dominated. A lot of people thought he was injured. We asked him after the game. He said he wasn't injured, and he looked god awful. Kind of unfortunate to say that. And we're going to hear from him in a little bit on the show today. For his low score chug. Been a bad year for him. Not going to lie. A hamstring injury during the Summer Bowl. He got dominated this year in fantasy in this league. Sold out for the top pick in the draft, possibly. And then he lost in Turkey Bowl, the granddaddy of them all bowl games. And he didn't look good either. A lot of people were questioning his hands. Even Aiden, who drafted him, was questioning his hands. But yeah, so we got Turkey Bowl, we got the Winter Wonderland Bowl coming up. So it's a really good time of the year, as Cobb said. And on top of that, my birthday next Friday. And also, this is good news too. There's an owner in the league who came back for a little bit last year. He said he might come back to the area. He teased us all last year, and he ended up dipping out and going back to Iowa. But there's potential, folks. This guy might be moving here for the long haul. I'm gonna knock on wood right now because I want it to come true. But this guy has told me that I'm not gonna name his name, but he told me there's a big chance that he will be making his return to the area. He wants the Cobra Kai outfit. He's a league owner who's had a really good year, a bounce back year, comeback player of the year, I believe. I think it's what the unanimous we're going to vote on at the end of the year awards. Comeback player of the year, and he's back. I think. Hopefully he gets his job, and he'll definitely be back. But what do you think about this potential of this owner coming back, Cobb?
I'm glad you knocked on wood because we've been through this roller coaster before, and this time it seems real. It seems like there's a lot more backing to it. whoever this owner might be. But I'm hoping, it's always nice to get familiar faces back in the area. Too many people have been leaving, dipping out. So to get one back feels good. Feels right.
It's a big deal. I mean, we're pretty much getting our crew back to the area. Let's see, Pistol's done. I think just for in many ways he's done, but he doesn't even count anymore. To be quite honest with you, but so it's good news. He also doesn't have a girlfriend tying him down in that state, so that's huge. He's coming back to the area. We'll let you guys fill the dots on who that person is. We'll jinx it. We're big reverse jinxers here, so we don't want to say his name because then that'll be a reverse jinx. So hopefully that comes to fruition. We got the WWB draft in 2 weeks. But for that, we're going to stick to fantasy now because I know a lot of you guys aren't in the bowl game series. So we're going to go to fantasy. So Cobb, talk to me about your week 12 takeaways from what we saw last week.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely an interesting week, especially as we're super close to the playoffs and the playoff picture, but one owner could have had a much easier standing in the league if not for one of the most ridiculous decisions I've ever seen. I'm talking about Marcus Berry. He got away with the win against Hodge. None of us, we all counted him out. He grinded out a win. He could have had a huge back-to-back wins, but he decided to go with apparently his favorite player in the league, Paris Campbell, over Miles Sanders. And fortunate for you, he did that because you were able to beat him. But it's just showing Berry made a big move. Is he ready for the spotlight, or is it too much? I don't know. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty damn good takeaway. I couldn't believe it. When I saw that he had Paris Campbell, I didn't even look to see his bench. I go to see his bench because I forgot Miles Sanders was on his team. I go to see his bench. I'm like, dude, he has Miles Sanders on his bench? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? I don't get it. And I know Barry's big on because he's heard me talk about it in the past, but it's totally different. He's heard me talk about in the past, always having the prime time Sunday night or Monday night comeback. But my Monday night and Sunday night comebacks are usually Mahomes and Kelsey. Dude, Paris Campbell, it's not just anybody. You can't just put anybody in that Sunday night or Monday night game and that's your comeback. It has to be somewhat good. But I will say, though, if you look at the last 3 or 4 weeks of Campbell and Miles Sanders, both are pretty similar going to that game.
Yeah, but just knowing who the Eagles were going against with the Packers run defense and I don't know. It was a very questionable move. Hopefully get it out of the way now. And he's playing me this week, so it should be a get right week. But he could have been coming into the playoffs red hot and kind of took a step back.
Yeah, I mean, him and Adam. I mean, that last spot between, we're gonna get into it a little more, but between Hotch, Tasia, Barry, Adam, and even ZT, if you throw him in there, that's pretty interesting. Because if Hotch loses the next two, let's say Tasia wins one of the next two, he's gonna have in over Hotch. If Hotch loses the next two, which I don't think he will, Barry, he could easily lose the next two. Or maybe go 1-1. Adam could go 2-0 in the next two. ZT could go 2-0 in the next two, and that's going to be kind of like where everything kind of gets fudgy, and that'll be interesting. It's good to see the last playoff spots kind of be up in the air. And let's say Paul loses the next two, then you got Tasia and Hosh with the next two, then he slips out. I mean, it's really interesting to see what happens with this whole thing. But also with that win last week, I clinched a playoff spot, but I think if all I have to do is win this week, and I clinched the 1 seed, and that's it. As long as Stu loses, but I think my points are just so much more than Stu's. I don't think he can catch up in that department, but who knows? But my takeaway last week, Stu was scoring 179. He really he's been kind of that one spot all season long, and he finally is going to be cemented in the top 3 at least, based on these rankings. I mean, I don't see Paul beating him with it. I mean, Stu's got 100 more points than him. But Stu, almost had a horrible season the last few years. Comes right back to the top 2, man. We called it during the offseason. He had a good draft. He had good keepers. So he really is cementing himself in that, the upper echelon. And, it is. You get a bye in this league. I mean, in any league, really. You get a bye. All you got to do is win one. You're pretty much in the championship. So, I mean, it's it's a big deal to see Stu back and back thriving again. Really happy for the kid. Got a lot of good things going on for him these days. Not gonna go into detail on what that is, but if you were listening earlier on the show, you could probably put 2 and 2 together. All right, so we're gonna get to some fun stuff before we begin the breakdowns. So last week was Thanksgiving. Roden couldn't send his drink, his chug in. He was with his like girlfriend's parents or some shit like that. So he sent in his video. Classy kid, did it pretty well. We're gonna watch that, and then we're gonna watch Alex's chug as well. But we're gonna start off with Big Dave's. And also, this is presented to you by Marcus Berry Fitness. It'll be coming back up and running again in 2023. This is brought to you by Marcus Berry Fitness.
One of my favorite exercises to do with the resistance band is the hammer curl. The way we're going to do this is we're going to bring up the resistance band all the way up to our chest, and then we're going to be slow on the negative down. So in a full motion, it should look like this.
All right, low score
Good
chug of the
looking
week.
field.
What's that?
It's a good looking field.
It is a good looking field. That reminds me of Lightning last week when we dominated the Turkey Bowl in that field.
So yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at a guy who scored a lot of touchdowns in that game. So yeah, Marcus Berry Fitness will be coming back in 2023. He's getting things up and running right now. He's been locked away in this cave, getting things together, putting a good formula together, new workouts, new weight training regimens. If you're trying to lose weight in the 2023 to look good for any kind of vacations you got going on in 2023, Marcus Berry's your guy. And that leads us to our first chug of this episode. Dave Roden's from week 11.
What's up, fellas? Got another beer here for the lowest points. Cheers. Woo!
That looks so cold. You can see his eyes at the end of that.
Oh yeah. Another good chug from Roden.
I mean, Roden's solid, man. You can't go wrong with Dave. If we were putting a beer fest team together in this league for like the chugging category, who'd your 4B?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Including myself. Like you're a part of that team. I wouldn't put myself on that.
you
team.
can't put yourself. You can't put yourself on it just because like.
I mean, it'd probably have to be. Adam, Roden, and then it gets interesting. I don't know, Hotch by default maybe. I feel like he could chug probably.
Yeah.
And then probably Ruben. I feel like Ruben would just power through it. Or Tate. I don't know. Tate had a decent one.
Tage did have a decent one. Yeah, that it was bringing back his old high school days, knocking those things down in that last video I saw of him doing it. Ruben kind of scares me because Ruben's more of a hard liquor guy. I don't think I've ever seen him drink a beer or anything.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something that he would do quickly, even if it's painful and he hates it. He just kind of powers through that kind of thing.
Yeah,
He would hate it.
Paul strikes me as a wild card. I think he can key it. Yeah, we have to see Paul. Hopefully, Paul loses so we can see him do this at some point. It's too bad. We've only seen like a certain amount of people do it this year. We haven't seen that many people do it.
Yeah, a lot of doubles. I mean, it's unfortunate.
You've done it once. I've done it once. Barry's done it once. Alex has done it twice.
Twice, hasn't he?
Who?
Barry's done it twice.
Yeah, Barry's done it twice. Alex has done it twice. Roden's done it twice. Ruben's done it twice. Yeah.
ZP once, Tasia once.
We
haven't seen Paul or Stu or Adam.
Yeah.
Kind of weak.
Or Hotch.
Or Hotch.
Damn. Okay, well, we're gonna see Alex's second one. This was a pretty good one. I saw it earlier. Pretty solid.
All right, week 12 chug. Second of the year. We got 2 weeks left. Hopefully this is the last. All I got is a little bit of wine here. That's all we got in the house. Oh, that's it. That's definitely more than one glass.
Pretty good.
Good point at the end.
Of course, because he didn't really get many points in last week during that game, so he had to do that during the chug.
That's brutal, dude. Chugging wine is not fun.
Mm-mm. Especially when you're not a drinker too, because that probably knocks him on his ass, dude. Yeah. Okay. So that does it for our chugs. We have 2 more to go, right, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, crazy.
Too bad. So we got week 13 and week 14. Any projections? Who's going to be the chuggers for the last 2 weeks?
Looks like it's going to be me or Odin this week.
Really? Think so?
Yeah, anything can happen. Bad projection so far.
Now hopefully we get one of the guys we haven't seen yet. I want to see Paul. I want to see Hotch. I want to see Adam.
Yeah, it should be a punishment if you don't do one during the season.
Well, for being good. I'll tell you what, though, I'm the 1 seed right now. I had to do it, so
Yeah, you did.
pretty good. I'm man of the people, Cobb. I always try to tell you that, dude. Man of the people. Okay, so so again, Marksberry Fitness come back better than ever in 2023, bigger than ever in 2023. He's actually, I saw him at the bowl game last week. He slimmed up a little bit. He said he's getting ready his new workout regimen, new plan, new stuff, new diets. He's getting people ready and getting them skinnier for 2023. So people be ready, man. Marksberry Fitness is coming back better than ever. Ooh. All right.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Hey, you just send us the video, Paul. We'll play it, baby. We don't even go fucking. It'll be presented by Marksberry Fitness too, just to have some fun with it. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go to week 13 matchups. Cobb, I'll let you do the first one. I'm just going by my list here. The first one is Alex v. Dash. That's the first one.
That's I wish I could say it was a good one. This is, we have a great slate of NFL games this week. Unfortunately, we don't really have a great slate of games in the basement league, but that's how it goes some weeks. Alex looking on the next season. There was some potential that he might not be the first overall pick, but the further we get, the more I think he's still going to be the last seed that's going to have to do the IHOP pancake challenge. But going matchup to matchup, we'll just get this out of the way. Mahomes versus Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence against Detroit. That's pretty cool. It's pretty good. But Mahomes against Cincinnati, that should be a great game. That's one of the games I was referring to. I think that's going to be a great game, but I'm going to give that to Mahomes easily. Amari Cooper versus Christian Kirk. I like that he has a stack going on. I'm interested to see how Amari does with Deshaun Watson now. New quarterback going on. Are they going to ease him into the offense? Are they going to let him sling it? I don't know. But this is honestly, it's a pretty close one just based off of what I've seen. I'm going to give the slight edge to Amari. I'm going to give that a watch.
What? What do you mean wash?
Dude, Christian Kirk's been all right. I'll give it to Amari, but I think it's going to be a close one. Singletary against Cordell Patterson. I probably would have given it to Patterson there. But I think that 11 is probably what you're hoping for with Cordell. So I guess I'll just give that a wash. Kelsey versus Freiermuth, easy Kelsey. Debo versus Darius Slayton. I think that's an easy Debo, even though
he might not play.
Oh, he might not play. His production has dipped since CMC has come in too. Slayton is, I guess, kind of the only receiver left.
I would go Zeke or Brian Robinson if he can't play. I might go both Dallas backs if that happens.
I still probably like all of those over Darius Slayton. Not by much, but that's Pollard against Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks has been pretty key lately. They're starting to feature him a little more in the offense. Pollard took a little bit of a step back last week after his huge stretch. Even though it was one game, I'm still going to give the edge to Pollard there. I'll be interested to see if you play both Cowboys running backs. It'll be a kind of I've done that in another league, and it kind of sucks. Lazard versus Randall Cobb. I'll give it to Lazard there. Nothing else to add there. We have the 1 seed against the last seed in the league. I think you're gonna get that one game closer to. I guess you secure the 1 seed with this win. So I'll give that to you. Way to go.
I think Alex is mistaken Randall Cobb for Ryan Cobb. I think he saw what you did at the Turkey Bowl last week. He's implementing you in a starting lineup.
I wouldn't blame him there.
Oh
I
god.
appreciate the homage.
Yeah, I'll go with me too. I will say, as far as Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes, as far as the betting lines this weekend, the Chiefs and Bengals are the number one at the highest scoring over under at 53 points. Second was Detroit and Jacksonville, 51.5 is the highest over under for the week. So the second overall. So bodes well for Goff and Trevor Lawrence in that matchup. I want to lean Cooper. Cooper's been killing it. And obviously, yeah, it's a different
change.
What's that?
The QB change.
QB
I
change,
don't know if they're going to let him let loose or what.
Yeah, it's curious. I'm curious to see what they do with Watson. I mean, I think Watson's going to want to have fun against Houston, and I mean, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Patterson and Singletary, I think that'll be a wash. I think Patterson will at least get an 11. Hopefully, I'll take a fucking 10. Kelsey, yeah. Debo, yeah. Question though, would you go Zeke or Brian Robinson in that spot? Brian Robinson looked damn good last week, dude.
He did. That was his first good game of the season, though.
I know.
I don't know. Like it's difficult just because you also do have Pollard. Jesus, I don't know. I mean, the Giants' defense is pretty good. I feel like.
I mean, Zeke dominated.
I put the money that Zeke gets at least a touchdown. Like I have more faith that Zeke would get the touchdown over B-Rob, but you could try and ride the hot hand and hope they keep trying to feature B-Rob in that Commanders offense. But I'd probably go Zeke. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm gonna have to do it. Well, luckily I have Zeke. Robinson's what, a 1 o'clock, man. That sucks. Yeah, it's either Zeke or at Debo at that point because I'll have to wait till 8:20. What's that?
You don't like those 1 o'clocks?
Not really. I like the 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock comebacks. But yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, I don't think this game's gonna be close. I don't think it's gonna matter between Zeke or Brian Robinson, to be quite honest with you. But
yeah, hopefully it doesn't come down to that for you.
Jesus, I'd be so mad. Alex would actually be 2 of my losses this year. It'd be 2 of my 3 losses if I lose to him. Okay, interesting. Fell off after that last one he had against me. All right, so the next matchup, I'll take this one. This is who we got here. Ooh, Stu v. Tasia, the number 2 match. Very, very big game this weekend, man. Woo, this is probably matchup of the week.
Probably,
it's got to be.
There's one other one on mine that could be a good one.
Okay, I'll get to that. All right, so we got Stu v. Tasia. This is a key one where you got the trade that happened, actually, the Jalen Hurts versus Aaron Rodgers trade. So I guess they both already had guys play. Jacoby Myers, man. Oof. So Stu's defensive guy got with Tasia's flex guy. God, it's terrible. Not a good start for Tasia. And a very crucial matchup, too. Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers. Jalen Hurts against Tennessee. Rodgers against Chicago. You know what? I'm going to go Rodgers on this one, actually. This is my personal opinion on how that game's going to go. Tennessee's got a pretty solid defense. They play quarterbacks well. I mean, they stifle Mahomes whenever they play against him. Rodgers against Chicago. Rodgers owns Chicago historically. I know Rodgers has that injury, whatever. But because Love played so well last week and everyone's talking about how good Love played, Rodgers is a petty bastard, dude. Rodgers is going to go out of his way to have a good game on Sunday. I think he's going to kill them, dude. I think this might be his best game of the season on Sunday. So I'm going to go Rodgers over Hurts on this one. This is my sneaky suspicion on this, just him being a petty bastard. Okay, so then you got Pittman, Godwin. I'll take Godwin over Pittman. Chubb, Etienne, give me Chubb. Because dude, Chubb's got Watson, dude. It's gonna open up lanes for him. This is the best quarterback that Chubb's ever had. Chubb's dominated without a good quarterback. Now Chubb's gonna have wide open lanes. Dude, Chubb might run for 300 yards. I'm thinking record breaking for the guy. Give me Chubb. Conklin, Kittle, Jacobs, Aaron Jones. I know Aaron Jones is playing, and I know Jacobs. They were going to rest him all week. Let's see. Limited practice. Oof. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Jacobs, but if we're just going off this, I'll go Jacobs if Jacobs plays. They've been feeding the fuck out of him, and he's been dominating. I don't think I'll have a repeat performance though. Then you got David Montgomery and CeeDee Lamb. Damn, dude, CeeDee Lamb, they give him an 18. Damn. That's a wash. I'm gonna go wash on that one. Montgomery's going against a really bad Packers defense. He's the only guy that got over there, and then CeeDee Lamb will eat also. So I think both. It's a wash. Montgomery look at the volume, and then Lamb's going to get a lot of touches and potentially a touchdown. Then you have Swift, Jacoby Myers. All Swift has to do is get above a 4. I'll get Swift on that one. It's gonna be a close game based on the way I got it here. McPherson, Kansas City. Okay, I might be able to do that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm gonna go. What's that here? 134 to 126. Yeah. Let's go 146 to 138. Tasia. Wow. I'll tell you, I think Rogers gonna have a really good game this week. I think Rogers gonna get a 40.
If that's the case, I'll give it to Tasia too, but I don't think that's the case. I think Rodgers is going to stink it up.
Really?
I don't know. I kind of don't. The injury reports got me shook a little bit. I mean, Tasia's saying in the comments maybe he starts Geno. He's got a decision to make there. I mean, Jalen Hurts has been killing it. It's hard to – and then like you said with Chubb, I think he's been killing it. It's hard to look over those guys. It is a close game, though. I mean, it's unfortunate that, like you said, an IDP player from Stu essentially matched and washed out his flex. Yeah. That game was so hard to watch last night. It's going to be close. I think I still have Stu pulling out the win here. Very close. I'll go 136 to 130.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
I think it's going to be close. Like I said, this is one of the matchups to watch. Let's take a quick look at the standings here, how this match will affect everything. So Stu loses. Stu is tied with Paul. If Paul wins, Stu has the points over him. This game is more important for Tasia, obviously, because Stu loses. Stu's still in the driver's seat for a second place bye. Then you got Tasia. Tasia loses. He goes to 7-6. He's gonna hope for Barry to lose because Barry has more points than him. Hey, and then he's only got 13. He's got 13 less points than Adam. So if Tasia loses and then Barry and Adam win, Tasia's out of the playoffs looking in. That's crazy, dude.
That's what I've been waiting for all season.
This is wild. But then you got but if Tasia scores enough points and he loses and Adam wins, but Adam has a stinker of kind of like a match where he wins like 105 to like 90, Tasia could still edge him out by the points, but Tasia needs to beat him by more than 13. So
Tasia just said Tasia and Barry play next week.
Wow, that could be
big.
Yeah, that could be the play-in game. That's the Monday night game. The Monday night to get in the playoff game. It's kind of key. Hopefully you guys have a lot of Monday nighters on that game. It'd be kind of key. So it goes down to the last second. God, I love fantasy at the end of the year, man. I love fantasy all season long. It gets to be sad at the end of the year, but I also love it for this kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of stuff here. Stu obviously doesn't need it that much, but Stu wants to still crack at the what do you call it, the 1 seed. He needs to win this week. I don't think it's going to happen though. I think it's done. But we'll see. Okay, so next matchup. Okay, we got Roden v. Hotch.
Giving me all the great games here.
No. Okay, no. Wait, hold on.
I can do this one.
Wait, you got the first one. I got the second one, right?
Yeah, you just did one.
Go with was ZT Paul the one you were talking about earlier?
Yeah,
do that one.
That's a good one. That's another one that ZT, he's been saying on to next year, like he says every single year. This is one he needs to. I don't know if he wants to win, but if he wants to get in the playoffs and sneak in, obviously it's a must win. Paul is creeping up. It's right on Stu's back, trying to steal that bye from Stu. So I'd probably see a must win for Paul. I think he really wants that bye. I don't know if he's had a bye before.
Nope.
So that would be a huge step, especially taking out like the preseason favorite and heavy favorite throughout the season. That'd be huge for him. So matchup to matchup, we got Herbert versus Lamar Jackson. Both guys that kind of disappointed for a while. Herbert came back online the last 2 weeks, especially last week. He did really well. Lamar did pretty good last week too, but he's been pretty disappointing to Lamar's standards as far as quarterback play goes. This is pretty close. Denver's defense is really good. I like Denver's defense better than the Raiders, obviously, so I'm going to go Herbert there, give him the edge. Diggs versus Amon-Ra. I'm going to give, well, we know Diggs has the 19 already. But you did say that this is the second highest predicted scoring game. But 19 is a high ceiling. I don't know. And Diggs could have had even a bigger game if he had one touchdown. I got called back for, I think, a holding or something. Just because it's a 19, I'm going to give it to Diggs. I can see St. Brown getting above that, but at 19 it's a decently high hurdle. It's not like the highest hurdle.
St. Brown's only had above 19 2 times this year.
Yeah. Well, he's also hurt, but
true.
Yeah, great. Another point for picking Diggs. Jonathan Taylor versus Saquon. Jonathan Taylor's finally back to doing stuff. Meanwhile, Saquon last 2 weeks has been kind of disappointing. I'm going to give it to Jonathan. Dallas team is pretty good. I think I'm going to give it to Taylor slightly. Those divisional games with Washington and Giants can always be kind of ugly. I'll give Taylor a slight edge there. Andrews versus Dulcich. I'm going to give it to Andrews there.
What? You're not a Dulcich guy?
Yeah. Again, ZT's been hella quiet since he tried to call me out for not knowing who this guy was. He got a 10 the week he called me out. He hasn't got a 10 or near a 10 for the last 3 weeks. He hasn't got a 10 since that 1 week. So, keep it up. Ramondre versus Keenan Allen. I would have given this to Ramondre typically. But again, just knowing that he has a 13, I think Keenan Allen can surpass that 13, especially with that Mike Williams is projected not to. I skipped over Devonta Smith versus Kamara. I'm going to give that a wash. None of them have been that great lately. Kamara going against Tampa Bay and Devonta Smith going against Tennessee. You don't seem to think the Eagles are going to do that crazy against Tennessee. I'll give it a wash just because they both haven't really been doing much. Stevenson versus Keenan Allen, as I was talking about, Stevenson I'd typically pick, but Mike Williams is projected not to play, and I think Keenan Allen can get over that 13-point hurdle. He did it last week without Mike Williams. I think he can do it again. Donovan Peoples-Jones versus DK Metcalf. That's another guy, like if you think that Watson's going to have fun, that's one where Peoples-Jones could definitely get over Metcalf. But with just how Metcalf has been doing, I'm going to give Metcalf the edge there. And then, like Paul's saying in the comments, ZT's team is better than its record, but that seems to be the case most years.
Yeah.
I think Paul puts a fork in ZT this week.
Wow.
Season's done. I do think it'll be close though. I'm going to give it a 128 to 119, so within 10 points for Paul.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this matchup, I was with you on pretty much everything you like every matchup on this one. And also another thing too, Lamar has been playing awful, and I know everyone says, "Oh, Denver, that's a win, dude." Denver's number one red zone defense in the league, and that's one of the things that Baltimore's actually had a big difficulty in the red zone offense this year. They stall out big time in the red zone this year. Yeah, dude. I mean, I think Herbert will just dominate the Raiders like he did last year. Yeah, you're right. Herbert's coming into his own. He's got his weapons back. Keenan Allen, looked pretty solid last week. The last 2 weeks have been pretty solid, more so last week. But yeah, I mean, that trade that he did with Tasia, it was for this time. It was closing time. He wanted to stack. He's getting the stack in the playoffs now. Depending on where he's going to be in the playoffs, we don't know. But oh wow, that's another good point. We usually don't even talk about kickers on the show, but there you see, that's a good point. Lamar stalls out. Paul's getting the points for it. So yeah, it's not looking good for ZT. Yeah, that you know what? Thanks, Paul. That stat right there, put it in there for me. Let's lock it in. ZT misses another year, another playoffs he misses. Paul puts a fork in his season. Paul wins 152 to 112. CT gets dominated. that stat that he has Tucker puts a fork in it and ZT gets dominated because of that. I love it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, it's true, dude. Lamar's out. And I'm hearing rumblings that ZT and Lamar friction. It's like Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler. It's done. It's pretty much beyond repair is what I'm hearing based on my group messages with ZT. So not good. All right, so we got another barn burner to go over for this weekend. Roden v. Hotch. This could be a good one. You know what's funny about this? A lot of these matchups are actually pretty you could say rivalry type games. You got Alex and me. You got Tej and Stu. You got ZT and Paul. Roden and Hotch, the GOP of the Basement League. Barry and Cobb. These are good matchups in every other year. But this year is not good. And who's that? Adam's playing Ruben too. I mean, these are great matchups. Rivalry matchups at least. But anyway, let's talk about Roden and Hodge. Jesus. Interesting. Josh Lee had 21 last night. They were making it sound on the fucking post-game show that he dominated. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. CT's being cheap as guarantees. What do you mean with the guarantees? I don't know. Hopefully you can talk about that when in response to this. But anyway, Deshaun Watson, Roden's lineup. That's kind of I like that.
He's been waiting all year for this.
Well, you should have traded me something for the stack. I would have given it to him too. Cooper was in my starting lineup the first 2 weeks of the season, dude. Yeah, wild. Okay, we got Deshaun Watson versus Josh Allen. Josh Allen only had 21. Deshaun Watson surpasses Josh Allen. Deshaun Watson gets a 30 at his home stadium in front of all the people who have falsely accused him of doing stuff that he did not do. I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, I think Watson at least gets more than a 21 in Houston. Mike Evans against Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson against Sauce. Sauce going to put the smackdown on Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson gets down. I think Mike Evans has a better game than him. Dameon Pierce, Dalvin Cook. Give me Dameon Pierce. Cleveland's got one of the worst run defenses in the league. So far, Roden, 3 for 3. Knox got 0. Oh, my God. Okay, Hawkinson gets more than a 0. I will say, if you are going to lose a position, tight end is probably the best one to lose because, if you don't have a top 2 guys, what you're gonna lose by 4 in that category or 5. I mean, that's fine. Jamal Williams, Jalen Waddle. Give me Waddle. Waddle's gonna have revenge on Roden for trading for nothing. Jeff Wilson Jr., Kenneth Walker gets the Rams. I'm gonna go Kenneth Walker in this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kenneth Walker in this one. Mike Williams, he needs to put somebody else in for Mike Williams against Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon might not even play. Who has Pirine? Oh, he's got Chase on his bench. Okay. Well, I wonder who he's going to take out then for Chase. Because, Mixon will be taken out if he's out for this game. Interesting. So if Mixon doesn't play, Roden has Pirine on his bench. So Roden puts Pirine in, and then Jamar Chase goes to Mixon goes in for Mixon. I'm going to go upset. I say Roden wins this game. I'm going to say Roden wins 133 to 126. I mean, if you look at the matchups here, Roden's got a big hand in a lot of these, dude. I know you don't want to admit it because this is your team over here. This is Cobb 2.0 you're looking at here, but pretty key. I'm going Roden here on 132 to 126. Rody, what do you got?
That's a bold take. With Dawson Knox getting a 0 and Nick Folk also getting a 4.9. I mean, yeah, Josh Allen 21, that's low for him, but I'm not sold. Dameon Pierce has also been ass the last 2 weeks. So I think this is a pretty easy win for Hotch, even though I did have him in winning last week and Barry came, or 2 weeks ago, and Barry came back and won it. But yeah, I'm going to give Hotch the win here. Let's call it 135 to 103. Not sold.
Really? You think it's like a blowout?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, he has Mike Williams is out. Did you go through?
Yeah, because what happened? Because Mixon might not play. He still hasn't practiced. He's still in concussion protocol. Roden would put P. Ryan in at his Mike Williams spot. Then Hodge would take out Mixon. He'd put Jamar Chase in for Mixon. I mean, I don't know how he's going to handle that his lineup. But anyway, Chase would go in for Mixon.
Yeah, I did. Roden does have a better team than his than his record indicates. I do think his projection is really low, even though I just gave him 107. But I just think Hodge wins. I mean, I just think the stars on Hodge's team better than the stars on Roden's team.
I will say this though: when was the last time Hodge had his quarterback get below a 30 or a 40? I don't think he's had that all season. Between Josh Allen and Justin Fields, he hasn't had a quarterback get below 30 at all this season.
Josh Allen had a 14 for him. He didn't start Justin Fields that game. I had him.
When?
Like 2-3 weeks ago against Cleveland. Yeah.
You sure about that? Well, anyway, one time did he win that game?
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay,
easy check.
I'm looking at it right now. Let's see. You said that was 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't have Fields at that. Maybe he did.
Okay, 33 last
Ooh,
week.
he lost. Oh, wait, no. No way.
Okay, so
he had Fields.
So you have Fields 3 weeks ago against Atlanta. He got below a 30. He lost that game.
Jesus.
He had Fields get a 46. He won that game. He had Josh Allen get a 24. That was below a 30. He won that game, damn. He had Josh Allen get a 21. Week 8, he lost that game to Paul. So when Hodges guys get below a 30, he's like what, 1-5?
Jesus.
Not 1-5. Yeah, 1-5. Yeah, oh yeah, he had Mariota the week. He won that game. Like Jesus, everybody else tore it up. Wow. Okay. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we had that matchup. Let's talk about the next one. Adam and Ruby.
This is I guess this is a good friendly matchup between some close friends here. This is a must win for Adam to keep in the playoff picture. I want Ruben to win so I can jump him in the draft order. And it looks pretty good because Prescott going against Indy, and then he has Burrow against KC. Ruben has Burrow against KC. I'm going to go Burrow there. And I think that'll be he has Latavius Murray. Jesus. I always forget how bad Ruben's team is until we look at these things every week. But I don't know. So going to Burrow, he does. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. He does have that stack with Higgins. I don't know if Chase will be full speed, and with the scoring predicted to be as high as it is, I mean, Higgins is going to be the guy, or he should be the guy for Burrow, and I think that stack should get him a pretty good potential edge in this game. But so Burrow over Prescott, Gabe Davis against AJ Brown. I give it to AJ Brown. Derrick Henry against Latavius Murray. They're going against Philly, but I'm going to give Derrick Henry the edge there. Fan versus Evan Ingram. This is kind of a wash of a tight end battle. If I had to pick Ingram against Detroit, I don't know. I'll call it a wash. Rashad White against going up against McCaffrey. I don't know. Is Fournette still hurt?
I think Rashad White's the guy now. Even if he comes back, I don't know.
It's hard to. I mean, Rashad White's he looked good. He got 19 last week, more than McCaffrey did. But it's hard for me to pick against Christian McCaffrey. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Christian McCaffrey. I don't know how he's projected to 19, though.
Yeah, he is back, by the way.
Oh, Lenny is?
Yeah. Okay,
so I'm going to give McCaffrey the edge there. Your guy, Pacheco, going against Najee Harris, who I thought he was hurt, but he's looked awful. I don't know you have more insight into how you think the run game is going to be against Cincinnati. But I'd probably give that a wash, honestly, against Najee, just based off of how Najee's been doing and vice versa with Pacheco. I think
Is Najee supposed to play?
I don't see a question mark against him. That's why I was confused. It said that he's good and he's expected to play week 13.
Wow.
Yeah. Some reports are saying he might be out for the season, so I don't know what's going on there.
That's weird.
Yeah. So I'll give that a wash. And then T. Higgins against DeAndre Carter. I'm going to get T. Higgins to edge there. So I think Ruben has a window to beat Adam this week and essentially take Adam out of the playoff picture, which would help everyone above, obviously, with Tasia and especially Barry. Getting him out of the picture. I'm going to go Ruben here. I think that stack is going to have a really good game against Kansas City, and it's going to push push Ruben ahead of Adam. I'm going to go 129 to 122. I have a lot of close games this week for the most part. But
you have Ruben winning?
I have Ruben winning.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty impressive, actually, what he has up here.
Is this the best lineup Ruben's had all season?
I'll tell you what. While you were doing this, I actually changed my Pancake King rankings because it's actually a pretty good team. He actually has a lot of good pieces he can keep going into next year. Actually, now I look at it. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Paul. I like it. I'll piggyback that. You're giving music to Taja's ears here, and you pick Ruben beating fucking a Millie, dude. Because I think that would essentially lock Taja in. I'll go with I'll back you here. I think Ruben wins this one. I don't really see a little avenue where he can squeak this one out. Yeah, if Henry and McCaffrey blow up, which McCaffrey could definitely blow up with Debo not playing, getting more touches out there and stuff. This will be an interesting one. I'll go. I'll go Ruben on this one. 134 to 122. Ruby, good call. All right, so we got the last matchup. This is one. My guy. Where is he at? What the hell? I had it on here. It's Barry and Cobb. It's a key matchup here. Barry needs this one big time. And there's a potential that he can lose this game because Barry's probably the. You know what? Barry's a solid owner, but man, he's very his opinions on stuff, the way he goes about managing his roster week to week is really shitty. As Cobb alluded to with the Paris Campbell over Miles Sanders in the beginning of the show. I just don't think he wants it badly enough. I mean, like he says he doesn't want to talk on group messages about fantasy anymore. He's really trying to grow as a person and as a fantasy owner. But like, how are you gonna grow as a fantasy owner if you put yourself in your own little bubble, an echo chamber of your own bad takes? I mean, you're not gonna help yourself out. Could you imagine that if I went in my own echo chamber, my own takes? I wouldn't be the fantasy owner I am today. I gotta hear other people's opinions, dude. But let's take a deep dive into his matchup here. All right, Jimmy G versus Russell Wilson. Jimmy G, I'll take over against Miami instead of Russell Wilson or Baltimore. I think Russ is just done. I don't even want to hear about Russ anymore. I'm just over it.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I bet. Devontae Adams, George Pickens, Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler, Kyron Williams, Austin Eckler, Hayden Hurst, Schultz, Tyreek Hill, Sutton, Tyreek Hill. He learned from his Sanders mistake, Cobb. Sanders against Tennessee or Olave. Let's see here, actually. And then, I don't know, actually. Tennessee's got a good run D. I'm going to go Olave. Close one. Garrett Wilson and Juju. It's Garrett Wilson, dude. Garrett Wilson and Mike White. That's the next best stack over there. Now I'm going to go Garrett Wilson over Juju. Juju was back from his concussion last week, barely played. We got a lot of things going on our offense right now, and Juju, for me, it's going back to the beginning of the season where we didn't know who's going to be our guy outside Kelsey. So for me, I like Garrett Wilson over Juju in that matchup. Close matchup, but not really. I think Barry's going to win this one. But Barry's team scored like a 103 last week or whatever it was, or 105. If he scores a 105, you could easily win this game. And Barry's team is very capable of it. So I'm going to go Barry winning 113 to 107. Close game. Grind it out. Barry's going to escape New England with the win, but a very close win.
Yeah, I would love that kind of game. I just, I kind of I was hoping I'd go against the Paris Campbell Barry this week, but unfortunately he seemed to have picked up on how bad of a start that was and fixed his mistakes. Yeah, I don't know. Ever since that Cup trade, Barry is like completely changed. You think he would have been, I mean, maybe for 1 week he was pretty amped, but then went like 0 dark 30, just kind of disappeared. Started making questionable moves in fantasy, things like that. So if his head's not there, I could capitalize. A scrappy team, pull him down to my level. Unfortunately, having Russ there never makes that easy. I feel like the amount of investment I had in that Broncos offense was just still the worst. It's like kind of like, I don't know. I feel like someone who invested in like NFTs, like got super psyched and then there's just absolutely no return. Just got absolutely fucked. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have Barry winning this one. I'll call it pretty low scoring, I think too. 115 to, that's the thing. I don't know if I have it in me to get that high this week. I'm going to go 105, 115 to 105.
The thing we said about you all season is all it takes is Denver to actually look like a good offense for once, and you'll win.
Yeah.
So, like, that could happen. I mean, we don't know if it could happen.
Fucking awful, dude.
And Baltimore's defense is not that good, so it's not like, there's a chance for that. And Barry's starting Jimmy Garoppolo without Debo. I mean,
yeah, that could be an opportunity right there.
Yeah, Garoppolo's highest this year is 33 against Arizona. And then his next highest is at 22. So, like, I mean,
and I've been waiting I've had one stack touchdown this entire year.
Really?
Yeah. Sutton only has one touchdown. So, get one of those. Maybe I sneak out a win.
Yeah. No, I mean, you definitely have a shot because Barry's teams know, like.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if you wanted to. Barry loses.
If I won, that last spot is going to get messy.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys you're going to be wanting that to happen. So, I mean, there's potential. What we talked about. Well, Tage is playing Stu. Tage has the toughest matchup of those records. But you got the Ruben and Adam, and then you and Adam. Ruben, Adam, and you and Barry. So those are the ones that I'm going to be watching for this week. And yeah, I have to say is the worst stack of the year. This is one of the stacks I always talk about, Paul, the ones that shouldn't be considered stacks, and this is definitely one of them. And you know what, Paul? Before we get to the what do you call it? The Pancake King rankings. We're gonna, Paul heard us talking on the show, and he sent us a little Friday night chug for the Common Dash show. So thanks a lot, Paul. Let's see what we got from our guy.
Cheers. Cheers.
Das Boot.
Ooh,
I like this guy. Oh, he's definitely last leg. Oh, he might be pushing a road for that last leg spot on the chug team. The chug relay. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Paul, good stuff, buddy. All right, so we're gonna go to probably one of the show's probably the biggest segments. I look at the analytics on the show every week. I always see a little spike when we get to the Pancake King rankings. People go to shows to watch the Pancake King rankings. That's it. This is brought to you by IHOP, the home of the stack. It's wintertime, but still technically fall, and IHOP still got the pumpkin pancakes. So why don't you go get them before they're done, because fall season's almost over. I wish they had them year round though. It's too bad. But yeah, the Pancake King rankings, home of the stack. And don't give me that look where I say I wish they had pumpkin pancakes all year round. Are you not a pumpkin pancake guy anymore?
Dude, you want pumpkin flavored stuff in the middle of summer? Come on.
No.
There's some things that are seasonal. Pumpkin's one of them, man.
But I think pumpkin you can extend that even in the cold times. Like I'm saying March,
Sure.
at least. Yeah, I think anyone
give you
who's
that.
March is good.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give you February. I don't want them in March, but
I'll tell you what. If I was the pancake king, I'd want my pancakes, but the pumpkin, I would now ruin it for me.
mix them in a little bit, like a little like midway stack, just to keep you going.
Have a little surprise. Yeah, I can fuck with that.
A little surprise.
Okay, so we got Pancake King rankings here. We're gonna go 7 to 12. I think the seven spot's really the one that everyone's gonna be looking at to see. That's where we think the playoffs are gonna be. So we're gonna go 7 for me. I have Barry here. I think we talked about his blunder last week, the whole Paris Campbell, Miles Sanders thing. He wins that game. Barry's pretty much home free, I think. At the five spot, I believe. And he didn't do that. He's an idiot. The Cooper Kupp trade did him in also, and his future sucks too. He's got really nothing going for him right now in fantasy. It's really sad, to think about. But luckily, Marcus Berry Fitness 2023, the big stuff's coming. Potentially, HQ3, a BL Plus is going to Alexandria at Paul's house. Barry, Paul, the merger. It's gonna be good stuff going on there. So hopefully that contract and that deal gets done, that gets worked out, all the stuff gets hammered. But for right now, Barry's on the outside looking in. He's out. Barry 7th spot for me.
Yeah, I was considering Barry here at the 7th spot. Unfortunately, I think Adam has a little bit tougher of a matchup this week. And he's already in the 7th spot. I don't think Adam has a bad team. I don't think he's a top team, but I think he's going to be on the outside looking into the playoffs just because he has the chance of losing to Ruben this week. And I think I picked him to lose to Ruben this week, so I have him at 7.
God, it'd be amazing if Barry did get into the playoffs. He owes me a lot of money, so if he gets in the playoffs and he gets me in the championship game, I get my money that he owes me. That'd be amazing. That's another story for another time. We'll take that offline. 8th spot for me. I got Z Tissel at the 8th spot for me. ZT yet again, another year, and yet again, he's that close to getting to the playoffs. Good team on paper, like he does every year, but you just can't close the deal. ZT's not a closer. It's becoming more and more apparent. No matter what he can say to try to spin it to his favor, how he's looking the next year. Literally every year around this time, I hear the exact same speech of him saying, "I'm looking to next year." And we're gonna get right next year. It's like, okay, great. What are you doing for me right now? I don't care about next year because every year it's the same story with you. And people in Washington are getting pretty pissed off with ZT. They're tired of his antics. They want results, and they're not getting it anymore. And quite frankly, as the GM and owner of this league, I'm getting pissed off with it. The fans are mad. They've spoken. No one's watching the games anymore. People are turning it off. Bad ratings. We need to figure it out. He needs to reel it in this offseason. Hopefully, he can make some moves. There'll actually be some franchise-altering moves for him. But for right now, ZT outside looking in yet again.
Yeah, not much to add on top of that. ZT is my 8th spot as well. I'd love to go back and see how many times he's gotten the 7th or 8th seed because it really does feel like this is the same song every year. And ZT's just not making the moves to change that. So hope to see him at the Winter Wonderland Bowl, though. He didn't come into the Turkey Bowl. And honestly, pretty civil game, but I don't know if we can hold that for another game. Need ZT.
Civil game. There were some missed calls that I would have liked for ZT to come in. There's too many redos in the game. I'd like ZT to come in there and make less redos. But scoring plays went faster because ZT's a big fan of reviewing all scoring plays when sometimes they don't need to be reviewed. But nevertheless, I love the kid. He's a great referee. I want him as my flag football ref any day of the week. Maybe not my fantasy GM, but definitely my flag football ref. Okay, so my 9th spot, I got Roden here. Now, with the guys that have the really shitty records, I look at just what kind of roster they have going into the following year, what kind of assets they have. And I'll tell you, man, I'm just looking at a quick little view of Roden's team. I want to see how Dameon Pierce finishes out the season before we keep him as a 3rd-round tender. So let's see. Let's let that play out. But Deshaun Watson as a 20th-round tender, I believe he's 20th round tender. I'm pretty sure he was drafted and dropped. He picked him up. Deshaun Watson, 20th round tender, could be very, very good. And I got Amari Cooper at a 6th-round tender. So if he wants him, give me a call. You got the stack, and that's a stack that I like. That's considered a stack. That's a true stack. And if he wants him, you can give me a call in the offseason for him, and we can hammer out a nice little deal. But you got Watson, potentially Dameon Pierce, Jeff Wilson Jr. They traded for him, and he looks phenomenal in Miami. So that could be a potential. That's 20th round tender, I believe. Also, and then Kadarius Toney. I know he was talking to Hodge about that's potentially a good keeper. I'm not really buying that. That's right now. I'm not. But you got 2 guys right there with Watson and Wilson potentially. It's a good shell of the team going to next year. So Rowan's my 9 spot because he has a nice, good future, which I can't say the same for some of the other teams below him.
Yeah, I also have Rowan here too. He is in the 11th seed right now, probably going to stay towards the bottom. But yeah, I mean, his starting line, like if the season started over right now with these guys, Rowan would be pretty, like he could fight for a playoff spot, but unfortunately that's not how it works. We only have 2 weeks left of the regular season. So he very well might just stay at the 11th spot, but roster wise, I'm right there with you. I have him at 9.
Yeah. And Paul, thank you for saying that. Where was this at the game, dude? I wanted you to say that at the game. You're saying this now. Doesn't help me now.
Yeah. I also didn't get touched.
Yeah. When this flag came off, that's crazy. But thanks, Paul. I'm glad you're an honest man. You're a good boy.
Yes. He
Hey, Paul, are you
looked at?
Yeah, I think you had the best game for as far as per targets. You mean you had like three or 4 touchdowns and like 5 catches.
I missed 4 tackles in a row on him. He was elusive.
He's a tank. That's why I had to tackle him 2 years ago. You can't really get the guy down. Are you in for Winter Wonderland Bowl? I don't think I saw your vote yet, Paul. You need to let me know so I can adjust the roster size on there. Okay. Are you in for Winter Wonderland Bowl though? Let me know. Let me know right now. Okay. So this is what the 10 spot. That 10 spot. I got Ruben here. This is another team that I think has got a nice little future if he plays his cards right. Because you got Joe Burrow. He traded a lot for Joe Burrow. And then you also got Rachaad White, who's probably going to be the running back in Tampa next year, and he got him late. The third one, that's where he probably have to make a trade this offseason. Although James Cook's starting to come into his own, so that's potential there for another keeper. But I think he drafted him pretty high. But Burrow and Rachaad White's a nice little shell of keepers there going into next year. I wouldn't keep T. Higgins. It's a too high of a pick. Gabe Davis way too high as well. So you got a nice shell with Burrow and Rachaad White. I like where Ruben's team's headed going into next year. As long as he doesn't try to keep anybody high, and with Burrow and Rachaad White, you got a quarterback and a running back. Just go find yourself a receiver. Someone will be able to trade you a receiver. But that's where I have it right now.
Yeah, it seems like we're probably only going to have the 7th seed different. I also have Ruben here. Like you said, I do like that stack, and that's the thing that I don't have is that stack to push you over some weeks. And when you gains, and I think that's what he has with the Burrow Higgins stack. As long as Chase is still nursing that injury and coming back from that, yeah, I think this is hopefully a wake up call of a season for Ruben. Keep having those high keepers and also trading a lot of assets away, and just maybe having, like Tasia alluded to, maybe a little too much whiskey during draft night, impacting his draft. But yeah, I mean, future looks decent, better than I think it looked going into this season. So hopefully we don't see Ruben here next year.
Yeah. So we got 11th spot. We got Cobb for my 11th spot. So looking at his team, there's really not a lot to work with here going into next year. It depends how big of a fan you are of Garrett Wilson. I think we need to see what happens with the quarterback situation, because if Mike White continues what he looked like, he could be their guy next year. They might, go with him and not get a quarterback, but they could also get somebody too. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. There's Rodgers rumors, there's Russell Wilson rumors again. Seems like the same story every year with these quarterbacks. But Rodgers, Russell Wilson, could they be in their same spots next year? Maybe not. But Mike White looks pretty good. He's targeting Garrett Wilson, and so that's potential right there. And then Olave, and then I don't know. A lot of people are high on Pickens. He's all right. I'd rather have Olave and Wilson. Now, I don't know how I feel about keeping 3 sophomore receivers going into next year. So that's why I'm like, I'm kind of like, there really aren't sure things there. But I love Olave. I love Garrett Wilson. Well, I love Olave. He's the only one I really love. But the other ones. But, I mean, you also got an extra second-round pick from the trade you did. But everything else looks pretty bad on this team. But, yeah, you got some rookie guys who have some good upside, and then an extra second-round pick. I mean, I like this better than the other person who has no assets, and he's got somebody else's draft, but he's got no assets with that. So I think you have at least a good shell, decent shell going into next year's draft. I'm sure you'll make a lot of moves in the offseason. I got guys who you might want. So let me hook me up.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk. Yeah, I have myself here as well. This was mainly going with the roster this year. It's just not going to get me high scores. I don't really have the opportunity there to blow up each week. I like my options more than you do going into next year. Unfortunately, with injuries, with Wandale going to IR after what seemed to be his breakout game, I really liked how he looked. And then obviously with Herbert getting hurt, that sucks too. But yeah, I mean, I think I have a bunch of like key last flex guys, all in my starting lineup, and then the dumpster fire that is Russell Wilson. Thank God I am done with him after 2 more games of me just looking at these scores, because then it's playoffs and that doesn't matter. I can just drop them. Yeah, no, I'm just ready. I'm ready for next season. Couldn't be more excited.
I'll give you kudos. You know, you didn't have a good season at all, but you're a co-host of the show, and you still stuck around. There's somebody who was a co-host of the show. I don't know if I want him back next year, but he didn't want to come on anymore because his team sucked, which is ridiculous. Because whatever, dude. You had a bad draft. You had a bad team. I mean, you had a bad manager. I mean, I don't know, but I give you kudos for you being able to come on here and talk about your team in the Pancake King rankings every week. I mean. Okay, so our Pancake King, you guys know what's up. It's Pancake King time. And we're gonna roll the old tape.
You are the Pancake King, young and sweethearting fan of thieves. Ooh, see that boy, watch that taste, digging the Pancake King.
All righty, I'm gonna miss that.
I was gonna say we only have 2 more weeks of that, and
I'm
that's
gonna miss
gone.
it. Might have to put it on my iPod or my iPhone for when we go our flag games and stuff. Blast that.
Sounds miserable.
But yeah. So the team I have, obviously, it's Alex. So when you did your trades to get rid of your team, where everyone thinks that Hodge fleeced you, you at least got some assets with the second round pick that you got from Hodge. Alex got Barry's draft, where it was first and third or first and fourth. He traded away Cup in doing so. And then he didn't really make any trades to have keepers to go into next season. So my guess is Alex is going to be trading picks to get keepers, and he'll be in the same situation he was going into this year, where he didn't really have any draft picks because he was traded for everybody. Because, let's say he likes the Stacksonville Jaguars, the Stacksonville Stags. Dude, you got Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, and Ridley. What are you're going to go triple stack with Ridley, who hasn't played in 2 years, with Kirk and Lawrence? I don't really understand that. Treylon Burks could be key. I mean, Alex has no building blocks going to next year. Let's say he keeps Trevor Lawrence, fine. So you keep Christian Kirk. You're gonna keep that stack. You're gonna put your eggs in that basket in year 2. I don't know. I'm not gonna love what Alex has going into next year. I love that he stole Barry's draft away from him, but I also just really understand what he's doing assets wise. There really is no shell, or at least a clear shell to me, other than the fact he's going to trade some of the picks he got to go get players, which makes no sense to me. So that's why I have Alex. The team blows, but also I don't know what he's doing going forward too. I think we can see Alex as a potential 2-time Pancake King, or at least being in the Pancake King all year next year, based on what he's got going on future wise. So that's where I'm at. What do you have with that?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. A lot of question marks with the keepers that he should have in this spot. Especially even Javonte Williams. Like, do you really want a piece of that Broncos offense? And coming back from injury, when is he going to be ready by the start of the season? You don't know. Treylon Burks, who knows? Like you were saying, my sophomore receivers are questionable. Treylon Burks could be questionable too, depending on who the quarterback is in Tennessee next year. You haven't seen Calvin Ridley in that offense. Christian Kirk could be the guy, but is he a keeper guy? I don't know. Yeah, like you said, a lot of question marks, and he did get a good amount for Kupp, but he kind of gave Etienne away too, and I think that's a guy that you could have kept on your team and then drafted with the first overall pick. So you kind of would have had 4 keepers that way in that sense. Not that there might have been better talent there, but yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, he is Pancake King yet again. Would love to have our third host back on the show. But a lot of people, I know they saw Tasia on the last show. They think he should be the next one up to take that spot. I think the show likes when we have a third host, a third talking head, and it's on us to keep the quality of the show up. And I think we might have to look at other options.
We got to fill that spot, and we tried with Barry. That got a lot of bad. People weren't really happy with the Barry shows. People thought he could have had a little more energy. People like the segments of Barry, but people don't like Barry as a full-time host, which is fine. We tried it. We gave a little test run, a trial run. Didn't work out, but hey, we have the key segment at the end here, which he's great for. And we're gonna actually go to that right now. So here we go. Yeah, Tasia liked what you said, and we got a lot of messages about that episode. People loved what we got from that episode. It was a great response. So Tasia, you might play your cards right. You might be the third host of the show. And actually, we can just call it the Cobb and Dash show, and it actually makes sense, right? I mean, you don't have to say Dash is.
Little squared symbol above the dash. Boom.
I kind of like that. Okay, so we're gonna go to Barry's motivational squeeze. We're gonna do some shoot out some motivation for the week.
This is why you're fucking holding back, and I'm tired of the BS.
Okay, so the topic for this week's Barry motivational squeeze is why should Marcus Berry come out of hiding and join his friends again in group messages and talking about fantasy and politics and sports and stuff? Kyle, I'm gonna let you go first on what your advice is to Barry to get back out of a shell again and start talking to people again.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on that on the last episode too. I think I don't know. It's not like Barry. He does a lot better when he's being social. He's around us. Like he was at the Turkey Bowl, had a great time there, and then kind of bolted out, didn't get food with us, which is the first time ever that he hasn't gotten food with us after the bowl game. Everyone was asking while we were eating, like, "Where's Barry? He coming?" And we're like, "No." I understand focusing on and doing what you need to do. I respect that. Barry's a hard worker, motivated, but you got to let loose. Got to take it easy sometimes, or you're going to burn yourself out. And we miss hanging out with you. We want to hang out. Seems like a little soapbox I'm on, but we need Barry back.
Yeah, bring Barry back. BBB. Yet again, we got another BBB. I can't. Yeah, what you said was perfect. Really hits all the things there. I just think, he thinks hanging out with his friends is synonymous with drinking. Not at all, dude. You don't have to drink. We don't care. I will say, Paul, if Barry is going to be your roommate, you might want to clear out the liquor cabinets. Barry wants to see no alcohol. So hide it. Get it away from the guy. He wants to see zero of it. He's done with alcohol. But yeah, him telling Aiden at the Woodson lacrosse thing that he wants to set his mind on different things, the right things. It's like, what? What do you mean the right things? What, you can't hang out with your buds anymore? What's wrong with you? He needs to reshape. He needs to retool. I think not posting any fitness stuff anymore is really getting to him. And I think he needs to get back into his fitness. I know he says he's working on some good stuff for 2023. I want to see what he's working on. And until I see it, I just don't know what's going on with him. So I really hope he bounces back, and I hope he misses the playoffs too. Just to give him a wake-up call. This is what happens when you stop talking to your friends about fantasy. You lose. So yeah, I think Bear needs a little wake up call before the new year. So hopefully he snaps out of it soon. We got 29 days and he's got time to snap out of it. So we'll see. Let's see, Paul. I think Paul said something. Might have to up to Rem. He wants to know. That's key. That's key. Just keep it out of his way, dude. He doesn't want to bother. He doesn't want to see it. But all right. Well, we wish everyone a happy and healthy week 13. We hope everyone dominates. And we hope to see some drama going into the final week of the season. I want to see some play-in game types for week 14. But yeah, so we'll see you guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.